You all find yourself inside of a crowded tavern. People of different races walk past you. There's music that is playing. Patrons are very rowdy. You all find yourselves at different tables and at different locations from one another. You are currently at the Drunken Cork pub, looking for work on the island of Tortuga. Can you do me the grand honor and make the first roll of the campaign? Please roll me
Oh
perception.
boy. Oh boy. Is my child perceptive? Yes.
12. So, you are sitting by a fireplace with a mug of ale, kind of people watching as you look over the colorful cast of characters. You see some folks that have indulged in a little bit too much ale as you scan the horizon. You see off in the corner there seems to be two older men sitting at a table. A very large black-haired woman stands right by one who wears a large black hat with plumes of yellow feathers sticking out. The woman is looking at you, not trying to be intimidating. You can see that she is just kind of staring out into the crowd. However, you notice that the man with the plumes in his hat seems to be eyeing you down a little expectantly.
Ain't that interesting? And,
Wax is going to approach the guy with the feathered acorn.
As you walk forward, you see the shorter man that sits by the man with the captain's hat look at you and kind of perk up a little bit, and he elbows the man who caught your attention. William, I think somebody's coming over to check us out.
Well, it's about time, isn't it? Oh, yes. What's your name?
my name, I go by many names, but around these parts, call me Wax.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Wax. My name is Dr. Jonathan. Are you looking for work by any chance?
Well, anything to get me off this godforsaken island.
William, he's interested. You can see the shorter man kind of look up at the old, frail, thin fellow.
Depends. Wax.
What does that depend on?
Have you ever sailed before?
I've never caused a mutiny, if that's what you're asking.
That's lovely to know, but I'm asking if you've sailed on a ship before.
Numerous vessels. It was part of the Serpentine Pirates a while back. Along with the, what's the name of that other crew? Jeweled Serpent, it's another version of the Serpentine Pirates. I've had my fair share on the seas as a navigator.
I see. And now, my dear Wax, how would you say you feel about the concept of nudity?
Oh, goodness, William, please. I am very sorry about Captain Holmes. He is a very eccentric old man.
Oh, wait. You said nudity.
Yes. Clothed and dressed.
So at that point in time, Wax would slowly start to strip. He's just taking off his vest, just his vest for a moment.
As you take off your vest slowly, the very large black-haired woman kind of looks at you, raising an eyebrow, and leans down to the captain.
Well, this should be interesting.
Yes, it seems that this fine individual is getting right on board. What do you say, Jonathan?
The smaller, stout old man holds his hands up to his eyes, averting his gaze, his face red like a tomato. I suppose he seems to get along with both of you very well. Welcome aboard, Wax.
It's lovely to be on board. Wax will slowly start to put his clothes back on, and as he does, he will form just nice pair of double D's on his chest.
Ah, excellent! I like them already.
The thing about wax is that it's supposed to be malleable.
The tall woman doesn't really give much expression to you and just kind of points next to her.
Stand here until we get the rest.
And Wax will continue having his drink with the rest of the crew so far.
The rest of you kind of overhear some sort of commotion from the back end of the tavern. Of course, it's a little hard to hear when people are being a bit belligerent while drunk, but you hear the captain's voice cry out in excitement and in satisfaction at hiring Wax on board.
So what kind of exclamation is this? Like, it seems like there was a bit of a sexual charge to that whole situation.
We just kind of see a dude take his vest off, and then another guy's like, "Whoa!"
It's that one sound from like Vince McMahon wrestling when he sees someone stripping.
I don't know. Kassandra kind of looks over there, sees the number of men involved, and just sort of goes back to her drink.
But Ithil does not think so. He just kind of looks over, sees there's some kind of commotion. It's like, is someone getting hurt? No. I'm gonna mind my own business, sitting alone at this little table.
Chelsea is going to also kind of like look over, kind of like crane her neck a little bit, and then once the vest comes off and like she sees the double D, she kind of looks down at her own bahungas, if you will, which she takes great pride in, and then just kind of like looks at them a bit sadly and buttons one button of her shirt closed and turns and sips back at her drink a little bit more sad now.
Bastien sort of, turns and looks towards the group and then looks around and is just sort of asking anybody in the area, like, do you know what's up with our new friends here? It's normally not quite this lively in here.
As you turn to the other patrons, they look at you, kind of half shrug with that drunk kind of, I don't know. One of the barmaids that is over by you leans down. Oh, that is Captain Holmes. He is currently looking for new crewmates to join his pirate crew or whatnot. He's a bit eccentric. I would be careful of him if I were you. She fixes herself up and goes back to walking over to another table to serve the customers there.
Well then, pirates, is it? Let me think on that. And he sort of goes back to nursing a drink for the moment while sort of watching the back corner.
As you turn back to kind of nurse your drink, you all kind of hear the two older men bickering back and forth like an old married couple.
Well, Jonathan, you see, if we were to be able to agree on this for a moment, then perhaps we could attract other people to come over and see if they would be willing to join our crew. However, since you cannot agree with some of my interview questions, I'm just going to keep having to argue about this.
But I just don't understand what the appeal is asking them all of these silly questions. This is supposed to be serious, William.
And these are serious questions, Jonathan. These are things that happen on this ship, and I want to make sure that these people are prepared for them.
Kassandra's pretty well-versed and connected with sort of pirating community, at least in the British Isles. So, is there any sort of role I could make to, recognize either of these folks, or...?
Yes, I was about to ask, can you please give me a history roll, please?
Okay, this will be +1. That is a 13.
A 13. So, by voice, don't really recognize who these men are by voice alone. But you hear the name Jonathan, you hear the name William, and you're racking your brain. And you faintly remember a pirate captain by the name of William Arthur Holmes and his husband, Dr. Jonathan, and their crew on the SS Baker.
What sort of impression do I have of the SS Baker as, pirated
In general, what you're aware of, the SS Baker has been a force to be reckoned with and has often caused issues for whoever happens to be in her way, but you also hear she's a bit of an untraditionally run ship.
Okay, so have I heard different crews have different cultures and stuff? Like, is this one of the ones that are gonna burn down a village, kill the kids, and how are they gonna treat their crewmates?
Make me another history roll, please.
That would be a nat one.
Yeah, as far as you're aware, they eat babies.
Okay, well, I think Cassandra's she is obviously looking for work, but I think she's a little wary regarding crews and especially ones that she's unsure of the reputation of. So I'm gonna have Cassandra just sort of casually starts to listen.
I feel like Ithil is going to make his way kind of slowly, trying to act natural, over to the bar closer to the conversation so he can hear a little bit clearer as to what's happening. Because he can hear job and ship and all that, those kind of trigger words for him. Because he wants to work on a ship ideally.
You know, Jonathan, if I don't start seeing more people walk over, I'll start approaching them.
Oh, God, please don't. Please do not. Please do something about this. The woman standing next to you, Wax, looks down at you and looks over at the captain.
The captain is going to wait and he's going to push back his chair and start standing. As he does so, he stands up and stretches his shoulders out, and you hear his spine sort of crack all the way down as he adjusts and twists and turns a bit. And you see him start looking around the room. Seems probably about 6 feet tall or so from what I can tell. Let's see. Who shall I go and speak to? Max, who do you think I ought to go interact with? He ends up with his eyes falling Bastien.
So, as I see him approaching, I will sort of wave over towards the nearest barmaid to bring a couple of drinks. Seems like you're having an interesting time over there in the corner, friend.
Yes, I am trying to recruit more crew members to my ship. You see, we have a venture we're going on.
It just so happens that I might be looking for anything that pays that might get me off of this damn rock again. So, what all can you tell me about this adventure of yours? And perhaps I might be able to offer mine own assistance.
It's a multi-stop adventure, and we'll have to get some supplies before we get to the main quest, but...
If nothing else, it beats sitting around here drinking with these old fools every night.
Excellent. Go to the table, then. And meet the other new crew member, and...
Bastien will stand and grab his drink and sort of slowly mosey his way onto the back. It clearly seems like they're not ready to go yet, so he'll kind of take his time wandering on.
So, Bastien, may I ask you something? If you were to find an item of value, what would you do with it? Say, something of a necklace, heirloom, map, spell scroll, what have you, an instrument perhaps. What would you do with it?
So long as we're adventuring under your flag, the loot would come to you to be distributed as you see best. I would hope that any instruments we find might make their way back to me. I've got a penchant for song, so perhaps I could make good use of such a thing, but in the end, the treasure is the captain's to distribute as he sees fit after all.
I think we are going to get along just fine, my dear friend. Now, one final question. How likely are you to insert a firearm into your rectum?
I'm sorry, is there a risk of this? Who would ever do such a thing?
You would be surprised, apparently.
Well, I can assure you that I have no such desires, my friend.
Excellent! I'm sure that ship's doctor will be very pleased to hear that.
So I flag down a waitress. As soon as I get her attention, I hand her a gold piece and I say, "Oh yeah, would you mind sending a drink to the long black-haired lady in the back?" And I sort of gesture over towards where the events are happening.
You mean the big Goliath lady over there? Send her over an ale if you want.
Yeah, keep the change, don't worry.
Ah, thank you.
Moments later, you see her emerge out from behind the bar, and she walks up to Kin, holding a very large stein of ale. She has to have 2 hands carrying it. She looks over at you and kind of gives a nod before looking up at the big Goliath woman.
Seems as if you have a secret admirer.
The black-haired woman looks down and takes the ale.
Kassandra's not even really trying to she's just kind of looking at her. She's not hiding that she's going.
Oh yeah.
Got the ale.
Kin takes the drink and looks at it and looks at you and then looks at the drink and kind of raises it up.
Thanks.
Woman of very few words, you have noticed.
Can Ithil try and flag the waiter down that's leaving the table after giving Kin the beer?
Yeah, no, you flag her down when she's on her way over. She stops and she looks at you.
Before.
Who are those people? There seems to be quite a bit of ruckus going on. Who exactly are they? Are they looking for crew members? Lots seem to be happening.
Yes. Well, that's Captain Holmes and his crew. I believe they're looking for some new crewmates to join their ship. A bit of an eccentric fellow. He comes in here time to time with his whole crew. Everyone on board. Very odd, very strange. They're nice, more or less. They keep the trouble out. Is there anything else I can help you with, dear?
You know what? No, I'm all good. Thank you so much, my love.
She gives a little bit of a nod and makes her way back over to the bar.
Ithil is going to get up and walk towards the corner with the rest of the crewmates and make his way up to the taller of the 2 gentlemen. I heard you're looking for crewmates. I am a mate. I can do things. Please, I just don't want to be here. Do you guys need any help? You have a boat, I heard?
The shorter of the 2 takes his head off from the table, and you see the expression of very, very, very tired, I'm very done with this shit, change to excitement as he kind of sits up a little straighter and just, well, yes, we are in fact looking for crewmates to join our crew. Well, lad, what is your name? What experiences do you have?
Well, my name is Ithil. I don't have too much experience. I have only recently seen the ocean for the first time, but I'm eager to learn what's beyond it, what the world hides, what else is out there beyond these vast seas. But I recently learned how to swim, which was a big step for me. But I'm sure I can be of any use to you. Please, I know I can do something of use.
Is that so? Why do you want to join a ship? Why do you want to join a pirate ship?
Well, you see, I was raised in the mountains, in the forest, so I've never really been near the sea. We elves stick, we stick to the mountains, the forest. I wanna see things. I wanna get out of here and experience the world.
You see Dr. Jonathan look over at the captain with a very sympathetic look, looking back at you and then looking at Captain Holmes. Oh, well, you seem like a very eager young lad. I'm sure that we could find something for you to help with. It's good that you know how to swim. It's very good, actually.
Yes.
Yes, it was quite a problem before that.
Yes. Now, on the note of swimming, may I ask you one last question?
Yeah, sure. Yes, of course.
On a scale, 1 to 10, how prepared are you to encounter tentacles?
Those are on the octopus I assume from what I've heard. Well, if we encounter octopus, I'm sure I will be able to touch them.
I think they'll be doing more touching you, but
Please, you're going to scare him.
I don't think he knows what I mean.
Ithil is gonna look towards Jonathan and be like, is there something I should be worried about?
My dear William is just being cryptic as ever, unfortunately.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to make you proud, so to say. And he's gonna walk over to Bastien, who he's next to, as it seems, and reach out his hand and like, hello, my name is Ithil. I heard you. I assume you're also joining the crew.
Hail, Ithil. They call me Bastien. Yes, I got roped into whatever craziness this seems like we're getting into here, but better than staying on this old rock.
Have you been on a ship before?
Yes. Yes, I have. I did about 6 years under another captain before some things happened and I ended up here alone. So it'll be good to get back out to sea again. There's that at least.
May I ask what happened?
Well, I was sailing on a merchant vessel, and the greatest risk to any merchant vessel is, of course, pirates. So I find it a little ironic I then end up here with pirates, but they're not the same ones, and it at least gets me a start back to civilization. So
Ithil is gonna awkwardly kind of bump his elbow on Bastien's shoulder, like, well, if you can't beat him, join him. Am I right?
well, that may well be the case, friend.
I have some business to attend to.
She kind of shuffles past, walks over to the bar. Cass, you see the woman that you got a drink for start approaching you almost like a beeline, and she pulls out the stool next to you and sits down without a word.
Cass gives her a little smile, and she says, so you're with the old timer over there, huh?
Yeah, why did you get me a drink?
No, it was illegal to buy pretty ladies drinks, but since you've come over, I did want to ask, is it a nice gig working for that guy?
Yeah, it's alright, I suppose. It's good to me.
How long you been working for?
Ever since I was a little girl. Been under his sails for a very long time.
What treatment does he have for his crew?
We have a chef, cooks exquisite meals, and we all are very close with one another.
Not the type to sell out his mates, is he?
I think he would rather cut off a
What? Well, thank you. And I slide another gold piece forward to the waitress in front of me, and I cock my head over at Kin, and I say, "Buy the nice lady anything she likes." And then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna walk over to where the people are.
As you approach, you hear Jonathan speaking to the captain. Both of them bickering again, like a old married couple. And you just let her walk away like that? What if somebody comes over and tries hurting you again? You can handle yourself, but you're getting old, William.
Oh, dear Jonathan, you worry too much about me. I'm quite alright. Besides, I have a reputation at this port, as much as some people might not like to pretend I do.
Can I get a moment of the old man's time?
Pardon, I didn't see you there. Yes, what can we do here for? Are you perchance looking for, work?
I reach out my hand and offer him a handshake to the captain.
The captain takes a look over your hand, almost suspiciously, and just, he takes it and gives it 2 very firm shakes up and down. So, what is your name?
Well, sir, I happen to be Kassandra de Villlepin, former first mate. Well, I mean second mate. Former second mate of the Redbeard's Fury. I happen to be a very skilled individual, and I was wondering if you were interested in purchasing my services.
You're looking for crewmates. What terms did you leave Redbeard's ship on?
Not the best. Now...
Well, should I run into him again, I can just handle it like I did last time.
I'm sure it won't be necessary, but here's the deal. I happen to be an expert when it comes to disguises, forgery, local and noble politics of the sort. I ain't looking to be a cabin boy. I ain't looking to scrub decks. I'm a professional. You keep me well, and I'll keep you well. All right?
You know what you're looking for. I like that. What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, they certainly seem like they know a thing or two about being on a crew, and well, that's to our benefit.
All right. I'll look forward to working with you. And just remember, if you sell me out or earn on me, I'll turn it back on you. All right?
See his eyes widen from behind his glasses as he looks a little startled, a little spooked. I can assure you that that would not be the case.
So for your sakes.
Redbeard ever mention a ship called the SS Baker?
I think I've heard of it in passing, but I don't know. Do you guys sail the Isle?
Oh, we sail all over the seas.
Yeah, well, we stayed mostly around, Britain. So I don't know if I've crossed paths with you in the past, but I'm sure you've heard of me, Kassandra de Villlepin, Princess of Pirates.
I hadn't had a clue. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yes, I look forward to working with y'all, and I'm looking forward to tasting your chef's cooking. The pretty lady over there praised it quite highly.
So I think we're going to do just fine with you.
I sit down Kassandra sits down at the table with like 2 other dudes already at it.
Chelsea has been like low-key observing everybody slowly making their way back to the tall, lanky man in the big feather hat, as it were. She's going to take one last swig of her drink, drop off the empty stein at the bar out of politeness, and kind of like, not like slowly, but carefully make her way to the back.
As you're walking by, Kassandra kind of flags you down.
Give her a little wave back and make my way over to Kassandra.
I hand her a gold piece and say, "Yeah, another drink for the table. Thanks, love." And I turn back to my drink, assuming that you were a barmaid.
No, and I just kind of put the gold piece back, and she kind of looks at her as like, well, no, first of all, I'm here for this ruckus, I suppose.
This happens to be a sort of recruitment process in a pirate crew. That the old man over there is Mr. Holmes, and I think he's looking for folks if you're looking for work.
At the word pirates, her like eyes kind of widen, and like there's a little sparkle in her green eyes, and she's like, "Oh, okay," and makes her way over to man in the feathery hat. I was informed that you were looking for crew knights.
Perhaps. Why do you want to join my ship?
Well, for starters, I would like run from things, and for second starters, I am not quite too fond of living out the remainder of my days on Tortuga. As interesting of an experience it has been, want to go see more.
As you had migrated your way over, Kin had left the bar to resume her place next to Captain Holmes, and as you mentioned, not really wanting to, live out certain things, she looks over to Captain and just mutters,
This one's kind of like you.
Oh goodness, you are very tall.
Yeah, I know.
It's amazing.
What are you trying to get away from, then?
Just personal things. That's, if it's alright with you, I'd rather not really go into much detail, but...
John gives you a sympathetic look. Oh, dear. Have you sailed before?
Well, I was on the ship that took me here, and I helped out a little bit on that, but unfortunately, aside from that, I haven't had much experience on ships or on the water, but I would be more than willing to learn.
Yes, well, I'm sure that we have a spot that will suit.
Perhaps. One final question for you. If you could become any animal, what would you turn into, and why?
Thinks long and hard for a moment.
As Captain Holmes asks you, You just hear, William, please, I talked to you about this. Enough with the silly questions. I'm sorry, my dear. He's eccentric.
That's
I
alright.
think we're all wondering what the lass wants to be.
I've dealt with a few eccentricities in my life. This is more of the tamer ones, but I suppose it would have to be an eagle. The thought of not being tied down to anything and flying all around wherever I could and sounds quite lovely.
Interesting choice. Very well.
Now with the group wrangled, Captain Holmes has you all sign your names and an agreement saying that you won't double-cross him and his expectations of the crew. You sign your names away in a small leather book, which, after the ink dries, he snaps up quick. You see that the sun is now at a midpoint in the day, being the brightest and hottest, beaming down into the tavern. Kin moves over to let Captain Holmes and Dr. Jonathan out from where they were sitting by the table, and she lingers back to kind of watch everybody's back while you make your way back to the ship and back to the docks. As you all begin to walk back to the docks, you notice a ship off in the distance. It is, her sails are billowing in the wind. You spot a big black flag with an hourglass imprinted on it, and swords jutting through the hourglass. It seems as if you are going towards that direction, and you see Captain Holmes and Dr. Jonathan begin to board said ship. As you look about, you see another piratey-looking captain holding off belligerent drunk people from another ship that is all cracked and scorched with flames. He looks back over at you guys and kind of gives you a toothy, wide grin as you make your way onto the deck.
Every family